What makes me mad about black women and domestic violence is that black men do not want to take accountability for the other black men who abuse black women. Let's talk.
Black women and domestic violence. The statistics on domestic violence in the United States are disturbing. 1 in 3 women and 1 in 10 men will experience domestic violence in their lifetime. Each year, domestic violence is estimated to affect 10 million people in the United States. Yet for black women, the numbers are even more stark. More than 40% of black women will experience domestic violence in their lifetime, according to the Institute of Women's Policy Research's status of black women in the United States. In comparison, 31.5% of all women will experience domestic violence. A report from the National Center for Victims of Crime found that 53.8% of black women had experienced psychological abuse, while 41.2% of black women had experienced physical abuse. More disturbingly, black women are 2.5 times more likely to be murdered by men than white women. In the overwhelming majority of these cases, 92% the person who killed them knew their victim. 56% of these homicides were committed by a current or former intimate partner. Nearly all 92% of these killings were interracial, which means that they were committed by a black man against a black woman. With statistics like these, the Black Women's Health Project determined that domestic violence is the #1 health issue facing black women. What, then, can be done about the epidemic of violence facing black women? The first and perhaps most important thing that we can all do is address the root causes of domestic violence, such as the objectification and degradation of women in media, rape culture, harmful gender norms, the pay gap, and other forms of inequality. The underlying causes of domestic violence are the same for all women and are often more pronounced for black women. By taking on these issues directly, we can reduce the incidence of domestic violence for all women and in particular, black women who are even more impacted by these factors. We can also work to combat racism. We know that one of the main reasons that black women do not report or seek help for domestic violence is racism. By championing anti-racist policies and challenging racism in our personal lives, we can dismantle one of the major hurdles to reducing the incidence of domestic violence in the black community. At the same time, we should focus on intersectionality, which means acknowledging the way our different identities intersect. For example, a black woman will experience domestic violence differently because they face both racism and sexism. A woman with a disability may face an additional challenge in getting access to services. By being mindful of these realities, we can better understand and advocate for equality. At Blackburn Center, we provide comprehensive services to victims of domestic violence and other types of crimes and abuse. Our services are offered to all women, children, and men, and to people of every race. Reach out today at 1-888-832-2272 to learn more about how we can help, or simply to speak to a trained crisis counselor.
Black men are always talking about it's that other kind of black man. It's Pookie and Ray Ray. It's all these. You don't get those type of statistics about black violence and the fact that black women are most likely gonna die at the hands of somebody they know or love. It didn't say Pookie and Ray Ray. It didn't say Educated Lane. It said black women. The #1 cause of their death are black men. And until we as a community face domestic violence as well as sexual violence to the black children, the black women, we will always be behind the 8 ball. It's easy to dismiss and say the other man is doing that, or saying this type of man is doing that. That's not what's going on. Because when you hear them speak, the ones who's supposed to be non-violent, they're the main one talking about beating somebody up. They the main one talking about dragging some woman. They the main one talking about she don't do what I say, she gonna get it right now. So if the educated lames are saying that, and they keep blaming Pookie and Ray Ray for the violence, it doesn't make any sense. Statistics, if they don't lie when it comes to single motherhood, they're not lying when it comes to domestic violence. Black men are not protecting black women. They are protecting the ratchet, the low-life black man. And that is what's wrong with our community. How do you expect a woman to respect you when you don't respect the value that she has in this world? When you don't respect the fact that she's getting hurt and no one is helping her? You have an excuse for everything. But what is the excuse? Oh, that's just that other kind of dude. She picked the wrong kind of dude. When we know domestic violence has no basic color, has no basic economic value to it. Poor men, rich men, middle class men, any man is capable of violence and has exhibited violence on women. But black men do not want to face the responsibility of what they do to black women. They want to always say, white men do it more. White men the one you have to worry about. White men do this, white men do this. No, black men does this. They are one of the biggest reasons why black women feel the need to cloak around protection and be so hard a lot of the times. They have seen their mothers get attacked. They have seen their aunts getting beat. They have seen their grandmothers. And they felt like the price of submission is too high. Until we get control of domestic violence, we will never get control of the black family. We will never get control of the black man and woman and get to the love. And if you are a violent man, black, white, any color, you're going to take that to whatever woman you're with. So you can't run to the white woman and say, well, I'm with her and I don't have to worry about hitting her because she's going to listen to me. Nobody has to listen to you. Just like you don't have to listen to the ordinary person who tells you to sit down, a woman, just because she's your wife, she's your girlfriend, does not have to listen to you. You don't own anybody's body, man or woman. Women have no right to put their hand on men. Men have no right to put their hand on women. And if the time and point comes to where you feel like you have to hit someone to control them, that is not the person for you. Stop domestic violence. I'm Mama Rain. Like, share, and subscribe. And as always, have a great day and don't forget to leave that comment. Bye.